early. That is not my cup of tea. Hello. Good morning. Stop writing and focus, please. Good morning. So going to chapter 5, regulations and governance. When talking about regulations, we're simply talking about rules that guide the way businesses operate. Rules that guide the way businesses operate. You put your pen down when I'm talking. If I see you write while I'm talking, I'm picking you out of my counsel. Your pen down, right? Regulations applies to rules and laws that controls how business operates. So businesses, they produce goods and services, but they don't just produce because they are in a country. So whatever they do is guided by law. So the laws that guide how businesses operate are called regulations. Do we get what regulations are now? Regulations are what tells businesses how they have to act in the market. So without regulations, businesses will do whatever they like. But no one is always above the law. No one is above the law. So this means you cannot act against what the law says. So that is why regulations are important. Do we get regulations here? Rules and laws that controls how businesses operate. So there is no business, no matter how big the business is, it can never be above the law. So it simply means whatever it does in terms of operation will be what the law says. This is what regulation is. Do we get regulation here? So what are the purposes? Why do we have regulations? Number one, to ensure minimum standards are met. To ensure minimum standards are met. When we talk about standards, standards are consistent way of doing things. That is standard. Consistent way of doing things. So if we have to be consistent in the way we do things, it simply means we are following the law. Just like in the classroom, you keep quiet when the teacher is explaining. You don't talk. These are standards. And they are not just standards that are meant for a specific period of time. They have to be what? Consistent. They have to be consistent. They have to be consistent in the course of implementing them. Because these are the right way to do things to get a stable or successful result. Do you understand regulations here? So the first reason why we have regulation, the first reason why we have regulation is to ensure minimum standards are met. So at workplace, get out of my class. I told you. Yeah.
I was doing this.
I'm really watching you, I'm really watching you. Yeah. For example, the health and safety legislation makes workplace safe for employees. Employees need to, employees without health and safety regulations, employees' lives are at stake. Employees might lose their job, might lose their life. So it is important for companies, businesses, to take care of the health and safety of their employees. So without government legislation, businesses will not care. So they know they are acting against the law if they do not take care of health and safety of employees. Get the point here. Health and safety laws, to comply with health and safety regulations, it's expensive for the business. So most of the businesses would want to, boycott it. They would want to boycott. They want to boycott it because it's expensive. But for the fact that there's government, they wouldn't have any other choice because there's no one above the law. So they have to comply. Are you guys getting what I'm saying here or not? Standards are the right way of doing things consistently. So health and safety is important for the life of employees. But to comply with health and safety legislations, they are expensive for the business. So businesses might want to boycott or might not want to do it. But for the fact that they remember that it is from the government, they do not have any other choice. So that's the first reason why we need regulation. Do we understand? It protects workers at workplace. 2, protects small businesses from unfair competition. Unfair competition from larger businesses. Large businesses have enough resources to pull out smaller businesses out of the market. That's why we have the CCPC, Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. So the CCPC would monitor the process of integration. And when we talk about integration is about merger or acquisition. Because bigger businesses, they have the financial capability to buy over small businesses. They might buy over small businesses because of reducing competition so that they can become a monopoly. So the CCPC would monitor that whatever, if business A and business B is coming together to merge, or business A is acquiring business B, it is for the good of the customers. Get the point here. When we have, if we have A, B, C, D, E business in the market, A buys B and C. It simply means we have just 3 choices left for consumers to make. Yes or no? So it simply means because there are few choices for consumers to make, the prices of goods and services are expected to increase. So the CCPC would ensure that whenever integration, get out of my class, sorry. CCPC is just a commission that guides whatever happens with integration. So there's integration which reduces the number of choices for consumers. As soon as the number of choices reduce for consumers, the price of goods and services are expected to rise. So most of the time, large businesses, they want to reduce the choices consumers have in the market so that we pay higher prices. So whatever process of integration we have, government monitors it, they check it, they balance it before they accept it. So if business A and business B wants to merge together, government have to confirm that business A and business B merging together would not put customers into vulnerability. It will not be at the detriment of customers. That is the point. Do we understand or not? Can you stop this or I kick you out too? Do we get the point or not, please? So that's about the second one. The third one. So, because government monitors the affairs or the process of integration, businesses would not want to do whatever they like. They have to do things that is in accordance with the law. The third one, create standards and ethical framework. Standards, like I said earlier, standards are the right way to do things consistently and predominantly. So with government laws, we would know that, oh, this is how we have to do. Employment rights will be protected, customers will not be cheated. Everything that we have to do it the right way, because if we don't do it the right way, we will be sanctioned. We will be sanctioned or fined by government. So when we are being sanctioned or fined by government, we are getting to the wrong book of the government. So that could even put our image or reputation into jeopardy. Do we understand? So with rules, with regulations, and with legislation and laws, businesses will want to act in a way that will not put customers into jeopardy, into vulnerability. Do we understand these things or not, please? Regulations are rules and laws. They are there to protect how we do things as businesses, so that we don't put customers into vulnerability. That is the point. Customers are protected, small businesses are protected. Without government laws and regulations, small businesses might not be protected. Customers will not be protected. Then large businesses will take over the society, take over the market. And if large businesses take over the market, they become monopoly. And if they become monopoly, choices reduces for us. And we have to pay higher prices. Do we understand the regulations? Any question about regulations here? Any question, please? Exam will come, don't worry. How businesses are regulated? So businesses are regulated internally or externally. So we're going to start with internally. For internal regulations, we're simply talking about rules that guide you within the organization. That's internal. So the policies, internal controls, internal audits, these are internal regulations. They guide what we do as a business within us. Do we understand internal regulations here? This comes from within the organization. These are things that happen within the organization. Laws that the business will make. ISM is a school. It has its rules for teachers. It has its rules for students. That is internal. Do we understand internal regulation here? Do we understand internal regulation?
Yes.
So what are the types of internal? We have internal policies and procedures. One thing is this, there are policies and there are procedures. Procedures are ways we carry out things. Policies are those things we are expected to do. Do you get it? So there are things we should do. How do we do them? These are procedures and policies. So I'm going to read further. Internal policies are rules for behavior within an organization. Rules for behavior within an organization. These are policies. There's a class rule. There are class rules. which we have to follow. If you are not following the class, we're sorry, you are not functioning. I just take you out of my classroom and that's it. Because these are just moral principles to know what is right and wrong. You've spent 12 years in school already. If you are in grade 10, that means you started KG1, KG2, plus 2, plus 10. That's 12 years. So we have to remind you everything that, every day and every now and then, we have to remind you the same thing. So it simply means you are not functioning as a student. So the only way out is to take you out of the class. So rules are there to show how we behave within an organization, internal policies. Then the procedures, how we carry out the task. The first thing I do is try to arrange you, not to make sure that you're not making noise, you're not sitting with someone that will make a noise. We do that, nothing will change. Because you are used to that system. That's procedure. We try to implement the policy with the way we arrange you, but still, it's still always going to be the same. So procedures, these are steps for completing the task. For example, procedures are how we have to complete our task. These are the laws, these are things we have to do. But how do we get them done? That is procedure. Policies are the rules. Procedures are how we carry out those rules. We comply with those rules. Do we get procedures and policies? Yeah. No. Procedure is about how things are done. Policies are things that we have to do. Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. Procedures are the ways we have to get them done. So policies are just the rules that guide our behavior. Procedures are those steps that we need to take on to do that job. So that means we have to comply. The examples of procedures are what? SOPs, standard operating procedure. This is the proper way a classroom should be. Not student chewing gum there, making noise there, turning into a marketplace. Yeah? We call it SOP, standard operating procedure. These are the ways things should be in a sane environment. This applies to a detailed guideline for performing specific tasks efficiently and consistently. So it has to be the way we rule our routine every day, because it has to be consistent and efficient. We don't talk about efficiency and consistency. Without being efficient and consistent, we can't be successful. So you have to show up every now and then with the same energy. Without that, then something is missing. That is standard operating procedure. The second one is code of conduct. It outlines how employees should behave at workplace. So there are code of conduct. These are the ways we have to behave at workplace. So if you don't understand if you are not behaving in a normal way in the classroom, it simply means it's going to reflect on you when you get to your workplace. Because this is how you are. So whatever I do right now is a reflection of what I was before now. You can't hide it. It's just like a flame. No matter how you cover it, it will still find a way to penetrate. That is how behaviors are. So you need to instigate a proper way of behaving, because it's going to affect your daily life after school. Here nobody cares, okay? But when it comes to you, yourself, you would understand that without discipline, you wouldn't get there. I know some will say, oh, education will not make us rich. Yes, education will not allow you to be rich. But education will allow you to learn, relearn, and unlearn. So those are the three things education will do for you. And it simply means education will allow you to be stand out in the society. It gives you the opportunity to make the right decision at the right time. Without education, you won't. So if you tell me, oh, some people do not go to school and they are rich and they are wealthy, how many of them? What is the percentage of those? So whatever we do here should reflect in our life going forward. And that is why business, economics, accounting are subjects that are of reality. I am what I am because this is how I am, based on what I've studied. There's nothing we achieve without discipline. There's nothing we can achieve without discipline. No way. To succeed, money will not allow you to succeed. Discipline, ethics, moral are those things that make you stand out from the rest of the world. And that is how you can stand out at workplace. Code of conduct. So for code of conduct, like I said, it's about outlining what employees should, the way employees should behave at workplace. How do you behave? It's about moral, to know what is right and wrong. That is your proper behavior. And the last one is code of ethics. The code of ethics is a statement talking about our code of conduct. A statement telling us on how to do. You're not writing, right? Now get out of my class. Code of ethics. This allows us to know about this. This is a statement. We call it whistleblowing. Whistleblowing. A statement that is a statement of expected ethical behavior of stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Your customers, your employees, the owners of the business, government, the environment you have, banks. These are your stakeholders. How are we expected to behave with them? How do we relate with them? So this is a statement that tells us how we should behave. So in case you are not doing the right thing, it is important for those around you to say it out. Whistleblowing. Because with whistleblowing, we put ourselves in check. To maintain a proper behavior, we need to say things the way they are. Oh, you're not doing the right thing. Yes, you're not doing the right thing. But you are supposed to do the right thing. It's expected of you to do the right thing. So these are internal policy. But internal policy doesn't end there. We have internal control. We have internal audit. And I think, we have internal control, internal audit. In the next class, we're going to talk about them. Thank you.